In this video, we will learn how to use the selection tool to select, move, rotate, and resize objects on the canvas. And we'll also go over the various features and properties and shortcuts associated with the selection tool. Now, the selection tool is going to be located at the top of the toolbar, and it's going to be the active tool by default upon opening a vectoring canvas. And it's the go-to tool for moving objects around on the canvas. To use it, simply tap on an object to select it. Now, with an object selected, you can move it around by pressing down and dragging on the canvas with your mouse or finger. Now, you can rotate the object by dragging the small circle located right above it around like so, and it'll snap every 45 degrees. And you can resize the object by dragging any of the handles that would typically be located around the bounding box. But if you're like me and you only see one handle, you can tap on that handle to bring back the others, and then tap on it again to put back the one handle. What this is constrain mode. So if the constrain mode is enabled, you can resize the object while maintaining its width and height ratio. But if it's disabled, then dragging the handles will stretch the object. And then additionally, if you're using a keyboard, holding down the Shift key and dragging any of the handles will scale the object and maintaining that width and height ratio relative to the position of that handle. And also the same thing can be accomplished if you're using a touch screen. So if you're dragging one handle with one finger and then touching down on the canvas with the other finger, it will scale the object proportionally. Now, if you have objects selected and you want to deselect them, that is easily done by tapping on the canvas outside of the bounds of the object here, and it'll deselect it. Now let's move on to the action menu located at the bottom left of the canvas. Each tool is going to have its own set of actions. And for the selection tool, those actions are delete, which is this trash can button, duplicate, select multiple, target selection, constrain, scale from center, and anchor. To delete an object, simply tap on it to select it, and then tap on the trash can button at the bottom in the action menu. I'm going to undo that to bring it back by tapping on the undo button here at the top. If you're using a touchscreen device, tapping with 2 fingers will also fire an undo. Now the next action is going to be duplicate. Tap on an object to select it, and then tap on the duplicate button to make a copy of that object. And the copy will be pasted right in the same place that it was originally copied from. To select multiple objects, tap on the multiple selection action next to the duplicate, and then go ahead and start tapping on the objects you want to add to the selection, like so. And then tapping on an object that's selected already again will deselect it, and vice versa. Another way to select multiple objects is to use the selection box. So make sure all the objects are deselected and then tap and drag on the canvas and you'll see a selection box appear. And any objects that are fully contained inside of the box when you release will be added to the selection. Now the next action next to the multiple selection is the target selection. And this is used for currently it's only used for alignment and the copy tool, which we'll get to in a later tutorial. For now, we're going to focus on alignment. So to use this for alignment, this action used with alignment basically allows you to align objects relative to other objects versus aligning an object to the canvas. So currently, if I select an object and I open the alignment panel and I try to align an object, it's going to align relative to the bounds of the document here. But using this target selection, I can align it relative to the bounds of another object. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select multiple objects. I'm going to use a target selection to select one of those objects. I'll select the crown here. And then when I do alignment, it's going to align this object to the target selection. So I'm going to use align here to align it to the center of it. I can align it to the left of it. I can align it to the right of it, and vice versa. So target selection, when used with alignment, allows you to align objects to other objects. Now, the next action after target selection is constrain. And this is much like the constrain mode you're going to get when you tap on this handle and scale an object, right? But this is used for when when the bounds has constrain mode disabled. You can use this button to constrain the scaling. So that way your object's scaling is happening proportionally. And then next to constrain, you have scale from center, which when active will scale the object from the center. And it works in conjunction with constrain mode. If you turn constrain off, then it will stretch the object from the center. And then lastly, in this list of actions in the action menu, you have the anchor action, which will allow you to anchor rotation and scaling from a certain point. So tap on it to activate it. And when it's active, you're going to notice a little circle appear in the middle of the selection. You can drag the circle around to the place where you want to place your anchor. And when that anchor is placed, then all scaling and rotating will happen from this point of reference. So now when I scale it, it's going to scale from the center because the anchor is here in the center. If I move it somewhere randomly, like right here, it's going to scale from that location. And then if I try to rotate it, it's going to rotate it from that location as well. And then simply tap on it again to deactivate it. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more updates, tutorials, and everything related to vectoring. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.